Good morning, YouTube, and again we have some brand new cards revealed. Now, don't let the first screen fool you. We do actually have new Red Eyes, Infernity, and in theory, Crystal Beast support as well. So I'm going to take you through those just after we go through these, which is a Power Pros Yu-Gi-Oh collab providing an alternate artwork for Dark Magician and Harpy Ladies Sisters. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content and news drops like this. So straight away, we're going to dive into this one. Now, this seems to be an exclusive OCG alternative art. It is a collaboration with Power Pros, and it basically means, for those that don't know, it's a baseball app game where players train their own unique players while experiencing a story about high school baseball. Only the first 200,000 people who finish the first 3 missions will receive one pack that contains the 2 commemorative cards, Dark Magician and Harpy's Lady Sisters. Unfortunately, it is not available in other countries except Japan. The promotional cards are, of course, as follows. These cards will be available in parallel normal rarity. Campaign period will be from January 18th till February the 3rd. The claiming period will be January 18th to February the 10th. And the redemption, these limited cards can be redeemed by at Yugioh and Konami satellite shops nationwide, Japan only. So it's a first come, first serve basis. It's a bit of a shame, but it might get rolled out worldwide. We just don't know. Anyway, moving on to the brand new cards, we do get a brand new Red Eyes card. It is called Red Eyes Soul, and this card name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon while face up on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can send this card from the hand or field to the graveyard to special summon one Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck except itself. You can target one Red Eyes Black Dragon in your monster zone, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. You can only use the effect once per turn. So, I mean, it's kind of cool that you literally just, as long as this is on the board, during your turn you can burn your opponent for 2,400, and then during their turn you can burn them for another 2,400. So, I think the only issue this particular kind of card has is the fact that it can't really be used turn 0 because obviously you activate Red Eyes Fusion, you get your Black Meteor Comet, and you kind of do a burn there. What I would have liked to see, and this would probably be quite broken, but for Red Eyes specifically, it would have been nice, considering this, like, this doesn't have its own special summon mechanic. Like, you have to get this card to the board in some way. I would have liked to, if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon one Red Eyes monster from your hand, deck, or extra deck. I think that would have been really nice. I think it would have been a way of, yes, it would have been able to let you turbo out Dragoon, but you would have been turbo out Dragoon without the pops. You would have had it just to be a negate and a boss monster, which would have been really cool. It would have also let you get into Comet Dragon, Slash Dragon, and of course the Red Eyes Archfiend Dragon as well. So I think that would have been really nice. And definitely a card that Red Eyes deserve and probably need. But as it sits, it's still a pretty cool card. These are all due to come out in like an anniversary pack, so it could take a while. Obviously, massive shout out to Alan Mack, who create the English proxies of these cards as well. Return of the Reaper. What a name for a card already. This card is always treated as an Infernity card. Special on one of your Infernity monsters that is banished in your hand or in your graveyard. If a face-up Infernity monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can set this card to your field. You can only use each effect of Return of the Reaper once per turn. I love the name and the artwork. It's actually really cool. I love that. And then finally, we've got Bridge of Salvation. So you can actually see you've got Rainbow Neos Dragon there. Rainbow Dragon there. And then you've got Armatile, which is really cool. So if there are 2 or more different types among level 10 or higher monsters on the field, shuffle all cards in both players' hand, field, and graveyards into the deck except this card. Then each player draws 5 cards. You can banish this card from the graveyard, add 1 Crystal Beast monster and 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Bridge of Salvation once per duel. Now, I believe it's both effects you can only use once per duel, but the fact that it's basically just a board reset, and then in the same turn, you can banish it to give you a field spell and a Crystal Beast, it lets you basically start again once you've cleared the board, which I think is really nice. And if you're doing this during your opponent's like end phase, yes, you do lose your boss monster, but they lose their boss monster as well. I think that its requirements are very specific. So 2 level 10 monsters that are different types is quite tricky, I would say, to resolve. Like, I mean, even in a Sacred Beast deck, they're all the same type, so that can be quite tricky to resolve. So being able to try and trigger it yourself can be a little bit tricky. I suppose you'd have to build around it specifically, and then you'd be using stuff like Track Trick as well. And it's only going to be good if you want your graveyard recycled and your opponent doesn't, and if you burn through your hand completely and you want that 5 additional cards. So it'll be very interesting to see where this ends up, but I still think it's kind of a cool card. I love the name of Return of the Reaper. Like, I think if we were to go through these, I think artwork, this one wins, hands down. I love this. Name, this one wins. Return of the Reaper, what a name. And then even the artwork on this is pretty cool, but I still think the effect is kind of cool for Red Eyes as well. I would have liked it to have done a little bit more, but I still think it's really cool. Anyway, I hope you've liked this video. I hope it's given you enough information on the brand new cards. If you do have any questions, by all means, put them in the comments down below, and we'll go from there. As absolutely always, guys, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.